They say the best for last, right? Porsche versus Ferrari, GTE class. These are the two best cars in the class, if I'm being honest. I saved the best for last for a reason, so stay tuned for that. What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in to the final episode of the rFactor 2 GTE shootout. Basically, today we got the two titans of the class. One of them I consider to be the meta car. The other one I consider to be my favorite to drive. So stay tuned for more. I'll give you my picks. But basically, the two titans, they're always fighting for on the racetrack. That's none other than the Ferrari 488 GTE car and the Porsche 911 RSR. And it's funny, like, they're both mid-engine cars, but that's about where it stops. You got flat 6 NA that rev to 9,000, 9,500 RPM, and then you have your Ferrari, which is a twin-turbo V8 that only revs to like 6,500, I believe it is. So it's not, you got your sky-high revving Porsche, and then you got your torque monster that just gets you in and out of corners quick. That's the Ferrari. Same formula as the other videos. We'll show the onboards. We'll show the car in motion, and then at the end, I'll pick which is my favorite and we'll just kind of talk about it. And then after that, the last part in the video series will be part 3, or I guess part 4, ranking all of them. But honestly, man, I don't think there's a wrong answer here. It's really your taste, and with the cars being what they cost, I really don't think you can go wrong either way. But we did some driving at Sebring, but we did the real driving, the real pushing of the car at the Spa. So stay tuned. All right, we are going to open up with the Porsche 911 RSR. And the reason I go to the point to say 991.2 is actually because this was the car that they were like, okay, GTE class is getting a bit more serious. Let's go ahead and speed up the car. So this was the first mid-engine 911 RSR we had in a really long time. So me being the nerd that I am, I seen those spy photos and I was like, why aren't they showing the back of the car? And sure enough, it was because they gave it that giant diffuser. They didn't make it fully mid-engine. All they did was turn the engine 180 degrees, so they were able to get that big diffuser in there. When I think about this car, I think about watching it qualify at the 2020 Daytona 24-hour race, and I tell you, it was the loudest car there. Of course, I missed the C7, but this was like by far the loudest car there. I could not believe how much louder it was than the GT3 version. So that was like really like a mind bender. The later version of this, the exhaust is a little different and a little quieter, but man, the engine on this thing is just absolutely crazy. Around the 500 horsepower mark, I think 510 horsepower, which isn't the most impressive horsepower number. But the class kind of controls that stuff. But you have by far the highest revving engine in the class. And it revs to 9,500. And you can just wind this thing out. And, you know, with that being a flat 6, that low center of gravity, it's just gonna, man, it's the meta car for a reason. I absolutely love the car. And you can hear the onboard. So, yeah, man, 911. talk about a car that just drives how you think a mid-engine race car should drive. The thing that always stood out to me was how neutral it is. Now, normally, a lot of people prefer like a really, really crazy front end, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But this always has like just like a hint of understeer, and that basically saves you, in my opinion. It's not as bad as some other cars, like for example the Audi R8 GT3 car. The amount of understeer that thing has is just crazy. But back on track, the 488 only revs to 6,000 RPM, but it's twin turbo, so you gotta just get through those. Get to the next gear because it'll push harder. I was driving earlier and I'm sitting at the top of 5th gear. I'm like, why won't you get to that final dot? It's because it's not meant to. So it's kind of a quick shifting car. Those turbos shifted along. Unlike the M8 and the Aston Martin, it is a traditional twin turbo V8, and it's just a really nice neutral car, man. I've beat a lot of people with the 488, whether it's the GT3 or the GTE car. I've beat a lot of people with it, and then with it being turbocharged, it's really easy. It's a lot easier to manipulate the fuel saving and stuff like that. Yeah, man, it's definitely one of my favorite modern cars to drive with, especially the GTE version. So, yeah, you just shift through those gears. You get to the next gear. She shoves through. Strong car, man. Very neutral handling. I just got finished driving the cars. Drove at Sebring. That was before I left to go on vacation. I don't remember the last time, but I drove at Spa. When I tell you it was close, it was within like a couple hundredths of a second close. So I actually went quicker in the Ferrari 488. Now the Ferrari 488. Let's talk about it. I always gravitated to that car because at the time when I first started sim racing, seriously, I was still kind of fixated on turbo cars. And this one was more neutral than the McLaren GT3 car at the time. So this one has always been like more neutral than oversteer, but still with a good front end. As long as you don't do anything too wild, it won't understeer on you. While some other GT cars are prone to understeer, this one is like, all right, I'll save you and not snap kill you at the same time. Lower revving, much lower revving engine than other cars in the class. It only revs to 6,000. That's where it makes its most horsepower. It's like 6,000 RPM, 600 horsepower. Being GTE, you know, they kind of BOP it. That's where BOP comes into play. But yeah, I got that at number 1 for me. If you know me, like, it's like the running joke that I won't shut up about the 488. And I think it's valid. Like, I done beat a lot of people, whether that's GTE or the GT3 version. I've beaten a lot of people with that car. Now let's talk about the Porsche. Honestly, I consider the Porsche to be like the meta car. The engine is just perfect. It's crazy how high that thing revs, like 9,500 RPM. It almost feels like a Formula engine compared to the 488. Actually, I think the 488 is the lowest revving GTE car. But the Porsche, honestly, you feel that weight, that lower center of gravity, and that's always been the strong suit with Porsches. The GTE 2017 car, when they sped it up and they gave it that giant diffuser, it's one of the best sounding cars of that era. You know, the Ford GT, everyone talked about having a V8. The C7 was up there, but everyone was upset when they switched to the flat plane dual overhead cam. The RSR was always this loud, maniacal, angry Hornet sounding car. And honestly, it feels like it just does what you want it to do everywhere. Honestly, I was surprised that I went quicker in the Ferrari. I did like 3 laps at Spa. I went 220.02, I believe, and then in the RSR I went 221.01. So it was like pretty close. Honestly, I think I could dip into 219 with both of them with some more seat time. But you know, that'll be another video for another day. I do plan on doing a video ranking all of them, ranking all 6 cars, and you know, just kind of going from there. But stay tuned for more, man. Like I said, I have LMU on hand. I still haven't driven it yet, so that'll be something I do fairly quickly. And then Josh actually invited me over, so we're gonna do some LMU driving over there. So I'll probably get that reaction and put it on my channel as well. And then you know, stay tuned for more. Still working on getting a new chassis, but it's kind of falling to the backside a little bit. But we'll get back to making these fun videos on a more consistent basis. That being said, comment your favorite GTE car and comment where you want to see me drive to rank them. I did buy Laguna Seca today. I might do it at Daytona, just because that's one of my favorite tracks. Stay tuned for more. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like the video. Apex Vision out.